our policymakers and the talking heads in the news media don't like to tell you, don't like to tell us, don't like to tell the American people, that they trust, there are polls that show that the trust level in the Taliban is so much higher because they believe the Karzai government to be corrupt, which they are. They are corrupt. They are corrupt beyond imagination. Listen, in the United States, our effort in Afghanistan right now is actually costing us about $5.5 billion a month in Afghanistan. It's $5.5 billion a month every month that's going into Afghanistan. Afghanistan, after all these years and tens of billions of dollars, maybe hundreds of billions of dollars at this point, billions of dollars worth of investment in Afghanistan. And I mean, Afghanistan still looks like Afghanistan still looks like it did in in 2001. I mean, the people are complaining. There are no services. The people believe that the government is stealing the money. There's evidence, documentation, media reports that people just would open their eyes and find them. There are media reports that show that that the Karzai government is taking the money that we're giving them, and the money is going everywhere. So, I mean, it's in foreign bank accounts over here and over there. Karzai's brother is like one of the world's largest drug dealers. He's an opium dealer. The Karzai's family is dirty. He's dirty. They're corrupt. There was a report that I read a few days ago that was talking about how the Karzai's top intelligence official actually resigned in protest because once again we are now hearing reports again about the president of Afghanistan, who's supposed to be a U.S. partner, a U.S. ally. He's supposed to be our partner in this war in Afghanistan, and he's making deals with the Taliban. He's making, excuse me, my video fell, but he's making deals with the Taliban. He's trying to strike peace deals. This is not the first time that we've heard these allegations, and these are not the first times that officials from the Karzai government or American officials have reported that Karzai has been trying to cut deals with the Taliban behind the backs of America, behind our back. And it's crazy. It's just like, listen, if Karzai is in bed with the Taliban, does anybody, and my question is to the people who are still proponents of what is going on, my question to you is, do you believe that Karzai is making secret deals with the Taliban? And if you don't believe it, I would love to know what evidence that you have that he's not. I would love for someone to refute all the reports that are coming out saying that he is. And I would love to see the evidence that he's not. But I haven't seen it. Every time, all the evidence that I have seen has pointed to a cooperation between the Karzai government and elements of the Taliban. So if I'm wrong, please. Apologies, my video. So if I'm wrong, please. A lot of the proponents of the Afghan war, they'll say stuff like, the reason that we have to, the reason that we have to remain in Afghanistan is that we have to remain in Afghanistan in order to deny Al Qaeda a safe haven once again to plan and launch attacks on the United States. Okay. According to our own government, there are less than 100 Al Qaeda members left in left in Afghanistan. Al Qaeda is not headquartered in Afghanistan. Al Qaeda is a transnational terrorist organization. Al Qaeda has safe havens and operations in countries like Yemen, Somalia, the Sudan, Algeria, Kashmir, and I mean that's just to name a few. That's just to name a few. So if our aim in this war, in this rightful war, the just war against radical Islamic jihad, in this just war, if our mission is truly to root out these terrorist organizations like Al Qaeda, and if there are only, according to our own government, only 100 Al Qaeda left, even left in Afghanistan, the majority of them are like all the other nations, including Pakistan. Why 100,000 troops in Afghanistan to deal with 100 Al Qaeda when there are thousands of Al Qaeda, hundreds of training camps, bases, all throughout the Middle East and throughout Africa? I don't. The logic to me, and I'm almost speechless. The logic to me just doesn't make sense. And if I'm wrong, somebody help me make it make sense. That makes no sense. That makes no logical sense. I'm not one to listen. Ann Coulter said it best. She said that just because Republicans and conservatives are for some wars, that doesn't necessarily mean they have to be for all wars. Another one of my problems with the war in Afghanistan. Let me say this first. I'm saying this because I love America, because I love American troops. I think sometimes, and I've never been served in the military. I've never been in combat. But I think sometimes, and I try to put myself in the position of those brave men and women that are out there on the battlefield, and to somehow see things. I want to see things different. Yes, I am a conservative. But I'm not a neocon. I'll say that. Maybe I'll elaborate on that later. I am a conservative. I'm not a neocon. The war in Afghanistan. Listen, if the argument is true that if we leave Afghanistan, some kind of way that the Taliban, and there are Taliban still in Afghanistan, it's a few thousand of them, that the Taliban would retake Kabul, and that I'm guessing that they would join, the narrative is that they would join with the fighters, the militia fighters, the jihadists in Pakistan, and overthrow the Pakistani government. But if the danger truly is, and I've heard people have said this to me, people who are proponents of this continued effort in Afghanistan, they've said to me, they said, that we can't allow the Taliban, into Pakistan. We can't allow the Taliban to have a safe haven in Pakistan because, of course, Pakistan has nuclear weapons. The Taliban are going to come. They're going to take over the nuclear weapons. Well, kind of flashlight, red light to everyone who didn't know that that I can't believe that people don't know that the Taliban are already in Pakistan. So I don't know. Do people not know that? Do you all not know that? Really. It's not a condescending question. Is really, like, people don't know that there are already like tens of thousands, anywhere between 30 and 40,000 members of the Pakistani Taliban.